Welcome to yet another episode of Brand Talkies, a Kadabiti show where we believe in uncovering the stories behind the brands you absolutely love. I'm your host Tamanna Chanana, and today we have another special guest with us. His name is Shitiz Dogra, a MICA and NSAT alumnus. He has over a decade of experience across verticals like marketing, sales, growth hacking, and corporate communication. He has been an ex-entrepreneur where he co-founded a venture called First Eat. He was offering calorie-counted meal services and nutrition consulting to consumers in Gurgaon. He's extremely passionate about digital marketing, brands, storytelling, innovations, and creative pursuit. His views on this podcast are purely his own and no affiliation to his current role. His knack for creativity is fully curated in a beautiful book with the name Ahmiyat. It's available on Amazon for the ones who really are interested in knowing about poetry and all of that. I'll add that to the show notes. Welcome to the show, Shitiz. It's really a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you so much, Tamanna. Really excited to be here.
Same here. I'm really excited to know a lot from you about digital marketing because since it's a buzzword out there, especially in India, and people trust me, they always talk about digital marketing all the time. The only word that they think about if we talk about marketing is digital marketing. So let's try to know that better and let the newbies learn about what exactly it means. Okay.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Shadiz, let's start by having you tell us a bit about yourself and your path in the world of marketing. Where did it all begin?
Well, Tamanna, I've been always passionate about all things creative. I've done theater for over a decade, right from my school until the end of my MBA at
Mm,
MICA. And, during my college days, I used to hone my creative skills through poetry, photography, acting, and playwriting.
yeah.
So all the things that get you in the limelight, I was trying to do that. Did
Okay.
a little bit of copywriting and
Mhm.
won some awards for that. And, right after my engineering from Delhi, I started working with Honda,
All
and
right.
wherein my role involved sales and marketing promotions in
Mhm.
my assigned territory in the northern part of India. And
Yeah.
that's where, I actually tasted marketing. I realized, I love this and I won't get bored doing this for the rest of my life.
Mhm.
So I decided to prepare for entrance exams and
Yeah.
specifically for my dream college, MICA, also known as the School of Ideas. Rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah, indeed. I think that's one of the easiest definition that you can talk about in terms of marketing. Making awesome. What was your aha moment in your marketing career when everything clicked and you were like, okay, this is something really big and I really want to pursue and go ahead and do it?
Oh, interesting question, actually, because at different points in your career, you feel that it is your aha moment. And,
Yeah.
it could be winning an award, it could be cracking a deal. But I think the incident that I'm going to talk about is probably on the business acumen side.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened in 2016 when me
Mm-hmm.
and my friends from my, and a childhood friend, all four of us were trying to break into the startup scene in Gurgaon and, our health food venture called First Eat.
Mm-hmm.
And when we closed our seed round, we were ecstatic and, super driven to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And 6 months post funding, we cracked PepsiCo as one of our marquee B2B clients.
Wow.
And, we felt on top of the world. It might sound like a very small win,
Mhm.
but, we were battling it out against like 20 plus other vendors, and being
Yeah.
a new startup on the block, we won the account. So that was massive for
Yeah.
us. And, shortly after that, we did a co-branded marketing campaign with Philips to put
Mm-hmm.
out a new line of zero oil snack range
Mm-hmm.
powered by Philips Air Fried. That
Yeah.
move really jacked up our orders significantly. So,
Mm-hmm.
that probably made us believe that, yes, maybe we're on the right track and, we have got a pulse of the audience.
Oh, wow. Now, nice. It really sums up with the topic that we want to discuss today. I was really
Yeah.
excited to know about how digital marketing is transforming the customer experience because, see, it's one thing that I've commonly heard from people. It's all about budgets and the kind of money
Mhm.
that you pour in, right? So, unless you know the right set of budget and the right set of geography increment, I know how hard it is for you, especially coming from that kind of background. So it's great to know that even with partnership with certain set of affiliations, you can do the same thing for your customers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So this is basically a buzzer round that we'll talk around. This is either a word answer that you have to give or a sentence. All right. And
Oh,
the whole point of this is to make it more crisp fun for especially for the end audience and to make them feel all right. It's not just about boring marketing knowledge. It's more to do with some fun as well. Like or we
no,
all
no, absolutely. I'm really happy we're doing this. This is because this is, the first time I'm probably doing a buzzer round on a
oh, wow.
podcast. Really excited. Yeah, let's go.
Okay. First question question of this round is, what motivational poster would you put in your digital marketing office to inspire your team?
I think it comes from a game that I've played for over a decade, and it comes from the legend of the game,
Yeah.
Michael Jordan. I've been, an avid basketball player all my life. So Michael Jordan says, 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot
Mm-hmm.
and missed. I failed over and over again in my life, and
Mm-hmm.
that is why I succeed.
Wow. So failure
Yeah.
is equal to success in a nutshell.
Absolutely, absolutely. You must know what not to do to succeed in future,
Mhm.
and that's probably one of the biggest learnings from my startup that has helped me in my new career after that.
That's incredible. All right, coming to the second question. What's the worst advice about digital marketing you have heard?
Increase the budgets, results will follow. It's a big lie. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Once you are given huge budgets, that's when you realize that every penny,
Mhm.
matters.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant earlier. People
Absolutely.
handling it will probably know that how
Yes,
difficult it
yes.
is. All right, the third question for the round. Do you ever use digital marketing lingo in your normal conversation to confuse people?
No, never. I'm usually the person in the room who uses the most simple words to convey the idea.
I truly believe it's very important, especially for the younger audience, to understand it's not about jargons at all. It's about
Absolutely.
people, right?
Yes.
Last question of this round. What's the most embarrassing social media mistake you have done in your...
Touch wood, none so far. Thanks
Mhm.
to my team and all the amazing people I work with. No
Yeah.
mistakes so far.
But you earlier said about the failure. I'm literally wondering what kind of failure was that?
No, it could be decisions or delays, right? For example, in my startup, when we started off as a B2C player, we started
Yeah.
off as a breakfast player first, and then we decided whether we should go full stack. Then we decided to go full stack,
Yeah.
and we were thinking if we want to make break in quick growth after our funding, we need to probably venture down the B2B lane.
Yeah.
We could have maybe we delayed that decision a bit. I don't know, but there are some things that you feel probably teach you in the longer run. That's all.
Okay. That's a amazing feedback, especially for the younger ones. It's important to come and learn from the leaders. Like it's not every day that people actually learn that kind of gyan and सीधी बात, not
No, no, absolutely. You know what? In fact, I would urge all the leaders to, give the room for their team to make mistakes. Give
yeah.
them a chance to fail. Then only they'll realize that, that's the reason they will succeed.
Yeah, that's right. That's so right. If I haven't made mistakes, I wouldn't be the kind of person I am today. So glad to the mentors and the people that I have worked so far. All the gratitude. So the buzzer round is over. Let's talk more about your understanding in the digital marketing space. Let's talk about some of the groundbreaking marketing strategies you have been a part of. What were the key elements that contributed to your success? And can you give us an example from those campaigns?
Yeah, so I think I would like to start with the buzzword which everyone in the industry probably has been using. It has been
Yeah.
done to that. It's called content marketing. A
Mhm.
lot of people say content marketing and how to use it and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But content creation, content marketing are extremely different, ball games altogether.
Yeah.
And in content marketing, you're trying to create a content which helps the user, it makes their life easier. You're not trying to sell something, not trying to shove something in their face, right?
Yeah.
And that is probably one of the biggest that marketers need to keep into their fold when we're devising their strategy. For example, customers love branded content as long as it is kind of, educating them, giving them some information or kind of helping them in some shape or form. Even Google's latest update, right, on the SEO side, it
Mhm.
will rank the blogs higher which are having helpful content. Now
Right.
helpful content might not be the same thing as content full of keywords that is supposed to rank, that has been designed to rank. That's not the helpful content, right?
Mhm.
Any content that makes the customer's life easier, and that's the focal point that they should remember. And I think that's one of the biggest differentiator in any brand's marketing strategy. No matter the channel you use, you need to remember that you're building it for someone else, not for your own vanity. Marketers tend to get swayed by their idea, and they think that it's going to be amazing, but the starting point has to be customer, and marketing shouldn't feel too pushy.
Yeah.
Talking about some examples, I think there's one particular example we did in the early days of our startup first seed. We had just raised our seed round of around 200k USD, and we quickly wanted to acquire users for our
Mhm.
B2C app. People could order calorie counted food from our B2C app, so we wanted
Yeah.
to grow it.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, we had two key thoughts in mind. Discoverability of the app should be easy,
Yeah.
and fulfillment of the order has to be fast. So
Yes.
what we did, we were in Gurgaon back then. So we identified a corporate park near a cloud kitchen, and that corporate park had almost 200 offices in Sona Road, Gurgaon.
Mhm.
And we used Facebook radial targeting ads, and we also did on-ground BTL.
Mhm.
And it'll be interesting to know that what exactly were we selling? we were selling poha at 1 rupee.
Oh,
Now, this is something unbelievable. People would think, why are you doing that? But it was a pure user acquisition game.
right.
I remember for that campaign, I had written a copy
Mm,
which says, and people really clicked on it because, right,
right.
you're actually getting food and you're
Yeah.
placing it. The entire order is gamified. You're doing something on the app and you're getting it faster.
Yeah.
So as a result of that activity, we garnered around 1,500 plus installs, and we would, back then we were a team of 12 people, including our kitchen staff, and we delivered all of those orders. It was, an extremely fulfilling campaign and a moment for us. Of
Yeah.
course, some of the installs that came from that activity, some stayed with us, some did not. But the
Mhm.
lifetime value from this cohort, kind of outweighed our acquisition cost by huge margin. So
Yeah.
it was, I would say it was a successful campaign for us.
That's incredible. Until and unless you know where exactly your people are and how to touch them, that's the bigger ball game for sure.
Absolutely, because you can't be shooting everywhere and say,
Right.
this might be here, might be here. No,
Yeah.
it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, especially for the ads. I know that budgeting and target audience and the geographical kind of thing may sound fancy, but you have to literally go in and around multiple areas to focus on different angles of it and what kind of things will actually work for you. But yeah, this is a
Correct.
great example. All right, the next question is in the realm of digital marketing, prioritizing customer experience is paramount. How has this been emphasized in your approach, and can you highlight some of the specific initiatives that you have done?
I think, the channel you choose or the medium you choose for your digital marketing communication, through the entire process, as long as the first click and the last click have the same truth as an authentic information,
Mm,
we can bring the customer to consider us as a brand of choice. From the copy you write on your ads to the ultimate landing page that you
mm,
design, what offering you're talking about on both the pages has to be, tailored to your customers' needs, and it
mhm,
has to be absolutely true. You can't practice what you're not preaching,
mm,
and always try to make best of the marketing strategies to make their journey hassle free.
mm,
Organic discovery of your helpful content using SEO,
mm.
would be something that I would lay strong emphasis on. In fact, I think Indigo's marketing team recently won an award for their SEO work at the
Yeah,
E4M Indian Digital Marketing Awards,
yeah.
purely because they did some really phenomenal work, in organic content discovery.
Yes, indeed. And it's very important to channelize your paid and SEO game together because if you don't, then it's very difficult for people to actually realize that what exactly are you here for? Is it just
Yeah,
about the ads that you are showing it to us, or it's about
yeah,
multiple things that you're applying?
correct.
And people believe in the brands that are more relatable to them rather than the brands who are just vocal about their work.
Correct, correct. Otherwise, it is just broadcast, right? You're just
Exactly.
saying what you feel like, and the other person is not responding.
Exactly. And that's a lot of organization, especially globally. I have seen that that's a major fallback. But in India, this has tremendously improved for sure.
Yeah.
Right. The next question of the podcast is you're known for spearheading creative and disruptive marketing strategies and the campaigns. Could you share your approach on innovative marketing?
Oh, interesting question. So, I think every brand should take, first of all, digital adoption pretty seriously, and
Hmm.
build an extremely intuitive website or app for
Yeah.
discovery of these services. That's what we were trying to do during our startup at First Eat as well.
Yeah.
And, before Indigo, in my past role as a product marketer at Round Glass, we always tried to build a solid foundation, with a fine balance of organic as well as performance marketing for product discovery.
Mm,
And this led to optimized customer acquisition cost and better ROI for digital campaigns. You have to, take certain calls that this much I'll be dedicatedly, putting in my content creation for SEO, which will ultimately help in product discovery. And this much I'll be putting it for, getting quick users acquisition through performance marketing. Even the digital channels that you choose, you have to be very mindful about it.
mm,
Always decide, have a customer first approach and try to be very lucid in your communication. For
mm.
example, if you're trying to be too creative, let's say in tier 2 or 3 markets, your
Yeah.
conversions will go down, your, CAC will go high.
Mhm.
Whereas if you're trying to do something in metro
Mhm.
cities, you might get better response.
Yeah.
So that there are some basic fundamentals. Of course, you follow them,
Mhm.
but common sense obviously prevails over everything else.
Yeah. One quick question that I have. People usually tend to confuse that the ROI is better predicted with paid campaigns, all right, rather than something like a organic channel. Do you really
Yeah.
believe that, or what is the quick hack?
So I think it's a good question, but it varies from industry to industry, right? For
Yeah.
example, in travel, if you're trying to say that I've created 1,000 blogs and I'm getting this much of customer base, so there has to be a hook or there has to be an existing functionality on the basis of which you're saying it. For example, you will keep a booking widget, let's say, on your
Mm.
blog, so
Yeah.
that people reading about top things to do in Maldives are actually clicking on that widget and making a booking from there.
Exactly.
Similarly, let's say if you're trying to do, organic blog promotion or people are talking about your blog, there
Yeah.
has to be some, transactional lever
Mm.
which lands them on your website or app for product consideration.
Yeah.
And there are various ways through which, you can create trackable links and see, what exactly is the ROI you're coming from. A simple example would be, let's say you create one link using a tool like AppsFlyer, which is a MMP tool, and you're trying to promote your app on social media. So you put a link there and then you see how many installs came from there and what is their entire life cycle value, how many retained, how many fell through the cracks and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So there are many ways you can track your organic acquisitions and
Mhm.
discovery as well.
All right. What role does data and analytics play in your marketing strategies? Do you actually map it, and how do you do that?
I think an intelligent marketer never gets too emotional about their idea. They maintain their sanity by looking at the data
Yeah.
always. And I mean, that's what I do.
Mm.
From organic initiatives on SEO to performance channels, including paid advertising, the segments you target, the KPIs you're chasing.
Yeah.
Optimization is something that I'm obsessed with. Every little thing, sometimes simple keyword changes in your headline or in your description can make
Mm.
or break the performance of the campaign.
That's right.
And whenever, a marketer is in doubt, what do they do? They do testing.
Mm.
So there's a very famous term, it's called A/B testing in the market. But I think in my current role, I've been trying to do ABCD testing. So I want to do it as thoroughly as possible and so that
Yeah.
we have a scientific approach. I think I'm talking about campaign, probably, you can go by gut, but when you have to scale it or optimize it, you should rely on data.
Makes
Yeah.
sense. All right. Coming to the last question of the round. What emerging technologies or trend that really excite you for the future of digital marketing? And what do you believe that people should be focusing on?
Very interesting question. So I know you will hate me, but generative AI is the term that will go beyond just prompts and probably, even execute campaigns for you some years down the line. It's a funny thing, earlier this year, I was in New York for an award ceremony
Mhm.
hosted by Adobe. And
Mhm.
there was a joke somebody made that anytime someone says generative AI, we take a shot. It's been used that many times and abused. But I think, yeah, it will go beyond just, images and content creation. It'll actually do stuff for you using automation. That's what I see.
Mhm.
User privacy and consent, I think, is something which is pretty serious and which will become paramount for marketers
Yeah.
and as businesses go global, right? Everyone is saying that cookies will go away and then you'll have to rely on your first party data and a lot
Yeah.
of other stuff. And when you do that, user consent has to be the first step. You
Exactly.
cannot shove your messages in their face and let them come to you. And that's where, the beauty of content marketing comes in, what I
Yeah.
mentioned in the beginning. Let's be frank, nobody wants to live in a episode of a Black Mirror. So
That's so
that
true.
should not happen. We're bombarded with that without consent. And I think the next point would be creative testing at scale
Mm.
coupled with automation is something that needs to be, used by more brands. I know it's a very specific use case. Probably bigger brands with multinational presence have thousands of ad groups in their performance marketing stack.
Right.
But creative testing is something which is not done at scale by brands, which should be
Mm.
done. I think
Right.
that's a space I think which will grow.
Okay.
And something similar to the GPTs of the world, Google's AI tool Vertex is also, coming up. And I think if it goes live, enterprises will see heavy adoption for this tool. I see that happening because it has some really amazing features.
Yeah.
And lastly, I think some work has already started in this domain, but influencer marketing governance and accountability will be tightened.
Mm.
We have seen that in India. Financial influencers and health influencers need to have some credibility before they talk about anything.
That's
And I think growing economies will probably take this very seriously because it can have human repercussions, right?
mm.
What if children are consuming content which is not ratified or verified and can have serious health implications, right? Then your entire influencer marketing bucket goes for a toss because you can't have absolute truths there. So I think that these are some of the areas which I see growing massively.
Correct. Especially in Europe, already there are GDPR compliances, right? They have been taking customer approvals and all. If that is working in Europe, I think so it won't be a major problem in India, definitely. But people will be a bit reluctant that all the time, why I have to accept these cookies and why I have to go ahead and do these things. But people will be better at what exactly they want to choose and what kind of data they want to go ahead, especially for Gen Zs and millennials. I've seen both of them, both the generations. They're very particular about the data that is being out. And there might be a carelessness that we had as millennials, but now if I see the Gen Z, they are very particular about what exactly they want to show the world,
Absolutely.
right?
That's a wonderful observation. Yeah, you cannot, fool them.
Exactly.
They are the one, probably they are the one who want to retain the power as a consumer.
Right. They
They're
exactly they want, right?
Exactly. So you can't bypass their methods and try to, arm twist them and tell them that, hey, I'm selling this. Can't do that.
Exactly. And they are very naive towards what exactly they want. They are very particular about how they want it. So,
Yes,
so you have
yes.
to be a bit smarter about selling these things. They're very cautious about even for drinks that we consume. We never thought that we all knew that Pepsi and Coca-Colas are bad for our health, but we still consumed it. But that's not the case with the
Mhm.
younger ones. So yeah.
Correct. And yeah, you see that's why the rise of something like meme marketing. Meme marketing is rising because it's the love language of zillennials. I think they like I said, if a content is resonating with them, they probably take action faster on that. Like you said, if you're serving it them their way, they will
Yeah.
definitely, do it.
So, right. All right. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It was really a pleasure knowing about your knowledge, your own set of experience in digital marketing. The last question that I want you to answer for us is, do you have any advice for the younger audience who's really enthusiastic in coming and being a part of marketing world?
Oh, yes, definitely. I wish somebody would have given me this advice when I was starting out as a marketer. I think I would urge marketers to hone some skills first, be extremely hands-on. One critical skill that helps marketers would be to have good customer insights or research understanding so that, they can apply their learnings and insights to the work they're doing. And I think in addition to this, people should also have some sense of attention to detail
Mm-hmm.
because, the work that marketers do, it's out there in the world. If you're putting an OH billboard, if you're putting a digital ad, you're putting something on social, anyone can go and see it. So it's visible, it's there. So attention to detail will help you ensure that whatever you're doing is,
Mm-hmm.
looks absolutely perfect before it goes out in the real world.
That's
That's
so
that.
powerful.
I think next would be working knowledge of some digital marketing platforms and
Mm-hmm.
tools. There are so many courses available out there on YouTube and other
Yeah.
websites,
Mm-hmm.
and it helps definitely to have knowledge of the fundamentals of digital marketing. You should know how to what are the basics of SEO and how do you run an ad on Google or a Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely simple stuff. Once you see the video, you'll get the hang of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that should be there, and stuff like website metrics, analytics tools like Google Analytics, and
Mm-hmm.
these are some of the things that if people can learn on their own, that will be really amazing for them. When they're venturing out into a career in marketing, been extremely helpful.
Wow. One more thing that I want you to help to our listeners. There are a lot of small institutes out there, especially who talk about, hey, we can teach you digital marketing and all of that. What is your opinion on that?
Really comment, but I think some of them are good because they get industry experts and you get to work on live projects. There are certificate courses as well.
Mm-hmm.
But my personal opinion is that if you do thorough research on YouTube, you
Mm-hmm.
will get to know a lot, right? I personally keep on browsing through various YouTube channels.
Mm-hmm.
WSQ Cube Tech is a channel that I often frequent, and it
Mm-hmm.
gives you so much information for free. You can learn digital marketing just from that channel. It's a phenomenal channel. It has million followers.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing content. They have, 7, 8 minute episodes that
Mm-hmm.
make up into a 6, 7 hour course on various things like paid ads, SEO, Google Analytics, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there is goodness in paid courses as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there is also a lot of undiscovered, gem of a content out there on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube and other websites that people must explore. And
Yeah.
you can learn a lot about digital marketing from there.
Mm-hmm. Any other courses that you can think of, free or paid?
Copywriting would be one thing, I think, because why copywriting is not just about writing, it's about clarity of thought. A
Mm-hmm.
copywriter has to, say 100 no's before he says a yes.
Yeah.
And copywriting really makes your job as a marketer easy. Why? Because let's say going in future, you want to probably do a venture of your own, a startup of your own. If
Mm-hmm.
you're good at copywriting, you'll write the entire content yourself. You'll save a lot of money for your
Agree.
website. You'll write
Yeah.
ads, and you know in and out what kind of stuff works, what doesn't work. So
Mm-hmm.
that will also help you, give the exact tone to the brand that you have envisioned, and
Yeah.
will also, enhance your sales as well.
Thank you so much for sharing these wonderful advice. I think a lot of these people, the young souls, will really be happy with some of these things because they usually don't get a good direction. And the sole reason for this show is to spread that kind of awareness for the younger souls so that they can also learn while they are working or they are studying at the moment. All right. Thank you so much, Shitiz, for joining us. And to our listeners, all right.
Thank you so much, Taman. I was just saying, I'm so happy we had such a great talk today, because it
Yeah.
also helps me go back in time and deep dive within my brains and see what is the best way to explain, answer your question.
Yeah.
So I have to marshal my thoughts quickly, and that also gets us quality insights.
Yeah.
And it's always happened in past, when I'm working in pressure, that's where I shine.
Too much pressure. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. It's our pleasure to have leaders like you sharing their thoughts. But definitely, I'm sure there would be people out there who'll really thank us. Maybe not now, maybe later down the line. That thank God we had this kind of discussion that helped them. All right. Thank you so much to the listeners for listening to this amazing episode. Get ready for more captivating discussions on Brand Talkies, a the BT show. Until next time, stay trending and remember to check out our show on your favorite audio platform like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, Amazon Music. We are also on YouTube. We are here to bring you conversations that can elevate your marketing game. So stay tuned. This is me, Tamanna, signing off.